talking about how to build the CPN foundation, the thing that makes everything after it work or fail. If you rush this part, you waste time and get flagged. So sit with me for the whole breakdown, because this is where the digital DNA is built, and if you get this right, you can repeat and scale with confidence. First, the foundation starts with a clean number that behaves like a normal social security number in the state you say you live in. That means the first 3 digits matter more than people think. Those first 3 digits need to match the state you are claiming because systems check that pattern. Like a checklist, and a mismatch early on creates noise, and that noise turns into suspicion. So pick the correct prefix for your state and check the full 9-digit sequence on at least 2 validators to make sure it shows non-issuance or no record of issuance. If either validator says issued or returned something weird like death master file, throw that number away and generate another one. This is not a game with luck. You want clean data, not borrowed problems, and record everything you do with time, date, and screenshots. Now, once you have the validated number, you build the master identity sheet. This is the single document you will copy everywhere, and it is more valuable than any trick because consistency beats creativity every time. So make one master document with the full name, the address, the prepaid phone, and the email, and treat it like the canonical source for that file. Use the same job title, the same time at address, the same income range every time you register anywhere, because the algorithm rewards repeatable patterns if you change the story every time the systems treat it like a different person, and that makes recognition fail. So choose reasonable values, avoid extremes, and write them down inside an encrypted vault. Let me pause and go off on something important here, because people always rush the phone choice. The phone is the thing most people cheap out on, and it shows a month later when a verification call or 2-factor text triggers weird behavior. A real physical prepaid SIM with billing that can be traced to a region is superior to free VoIP apps. Most of those free services pop on blacklists and create noise. Also, avoid reused emails. Use a fresh first, last, plus numbers Gmail that you only use for this profile, and never mix it with personal life, because mixing creates links, and links are detection points. Treat every piece of contact data like a thread in a web and avoid crossing threads. And next, you need the privacy stack, the VPN, the residential proxy, and multilogin, because this is how you make one machine look like many separate devices. If you skip this, you will leave fingerprints that blend everything together, and those fingerprints get matched in minutes. Start with a reputable VPN client on the host machine. Pick a server close to the city in your master identity sheet, then install and run the multilogin agent. This lets you open controlled browser profiles that keep cookie storage and fingerprints separate. Inside each profile, add the residential proxy to that profile, and use sticky session credentials for the proxies when you are logging in or registering, because sticky keeps the same IP through the session, and that consistency is what verification systems expect. Rotating proxies are useful for general checks, but never for signups, unless you want to look like you are teleporting around the world. It is crucial to test at each step. Open the launched profile and go to an IP lookup site and confirm the IP and the reported city match. The proxy you set, if it does not stop and fix it, do not move forward. A single mismatch can link files later, and that link is permanent in many systems. So take the screenshot, write the timestamp, and note the profile name in your audit log. This is your paper trail, and when you have 100 profiles, this trail is the difference between chaos and a teachable operation. A quick tangent about proxies, because people get confused. There are 3 practical categories you should care about: residential static, which holds one fixed IP and looks the most natural for core credit portals; residential sticky, which keeps the same IP for the session and is ideal for registrations and verifications; and rotating residential, which flips IPs every period and is best for checks and scraping use; static for the things you touch, often use sticky for the things you sign up for, and rotating for health checks and scanning the web. This pattern keeps region continuity and reduces repetitive noise, which reduces flags. You also have to nail the order when you stack VPN proxy and multilogin. The recommended flow is VPN first, then agent and profile with the proxy inside the profile. But in practice, some VPNs block local agent connections. So if the agent fails, disconnect VPN, start the agent, launch the profile, then reconnect VPN, and document the sequence that works for you. Once you find a stable sequence, write it in your template and repeat it every time. The machine will thank you, and the audit log will prove it later. Another tangent about audit logs, because this is the least sexy part, but the most valuable. People want to skip logging, but teams and clients pay for documentation in the real world. Keep an immutable folder for each profile with the master identity sheet, the proxy line, the IP screenshots, every login screenshot, and a brief narrative note of what you did that day. This is what you hand a teammate when you scale, and it removes guesswork. You can even make a 1-page CSV that lists profile name, proxy, host, IP, timestamp, action, outcome, and this alone will make training someone else effortless. On timing, let me explain a pattern that helps mimic normal consumer behavior, because frequency matters. Space out your sensitive site activity across days. Do not mass apply to credit portals in one sitting. If you want to try merge, practice apply 1 registration per day for sensitive consumer sites. Check credit monitoring and aggregators every 2 or 3 days. Rotate public record checks every day or so. And for business credit like Nav or Dun and Bradstreet, touch them weekly. This schedule creates a natural rhythm that reduces the appearance of automation because real people do not teleport into every service multiple times a day. And when you launch a profile, confirm isolation, check cookies, local storage, and extensions inside that browser, everything should be fresh. Try a test login into a throwaway account, capture the login success screenshot, then log out. This proves the profile behaves like a separate device. Remember to use the proxy test inside multilogin before you launch. And if it fails, double check host port, username, and password from your encrypted vault. Copying credentials properly matters more than you think. Typos are tiny, but they stop everything. You will hit issues, and troubleshooting is part of the craft. If the multi-login agent fails, restart the agent and the computer and check system privacy settings or firewall rules on Mac or Windows. If the profile shows the wrong IP, relaunch the profile and confirm the agent is running. If the proxy test fails, recopy credentials from the vault and check provider status. And if a site starts blocking or rate limiting, change proxy city or slow down request frequency. Sometimes small delays between actions keep you under rate limits and maintain trust with the platform. Mobile is a different animal. Full multi-login fingerprint control is not available on phones, so use mobile for verification calls and simple checks. Only the real work happens on desktop. If you need remote access, run your multi-login on a secure remote desktop or a VPS, then connect via remote desktop app from your phone. This gives you control on the go, but keeps the heavy work on a proper machine. Keep mobile for low-risk tasks and monitoring, not for primary profile builds. Security and permissions deserve their own warning. Never store credentials in plain text or screenshots. Put everything in a properly encrypted vault and limit access to people who absolutely need it. If you ever manage third-party accounts, get written, signed consent, and store it with the audit evidence that protects you and proves structure forever. Keep your logs immutable. Do not edit them. Once you write them, that is your chain of custody, and if you ever need to show a timeline for a dispute or a training record, it will save you hours. Now, a practical example to tie it all together, imagine you are building a Florida file, pick an SSN prefix for Florida, validate the 9 digits on 2 validators until they read no record of issuance, build the master identity sheet with a Miami address, a clean Gmail, and a physical prepaid SIM with a local area code. Next, install Surfshark on the host pick. A Miami server, launch the multi-login agent and create a new profile, set time zone, language resolution, and fonts to match a modern laptop. Then inject a residential sticky proxy from Miami, test the proxy and multi-login, launch the profile, visit the IP check site, confirm the IP city, and take a screenshot. Then register at a reward site or a credit monitoring site using the master identity sheet and take the confirmation screenshot. Add everything to your folder. That one session took time, but every action has proof, and now you have a repeatable template. Before we wrap this up, here are a few pro tips that save headaches. Rotate proxy credentials every week or 10 days for long-term operations. Clear temporary clipboards after session and avoid storing secrets in unsynced notes if you must share access with an assistant use role-based permission inside your vault, and rotate the shared secret after the task is complete. Small habits keep the system resilient, and when something looks off, you will be able to trace the cause in minutes rather than weeks. So to finish, if you follow this method, you will have a verified CPN number, a locked master identity sheet, a configured privacy stack, and a complete audit trail. This is the infrastructure that makes tri-merging and everything else possible without unnecessary flags. And remember, the reason we do all this is control, not secrecy. We build predictable environments so we can get predictable results. If you want the full downloadable method, the audit log template, and the raw screenshots to replicate everything step by step, join the network on Discord. That is where we help people one-on-one. Telegram is no longer reliable. Follow daily updates on Instagram at https://www.instagram.com/the network link. And the full method with all attachments is inside Patreon. It is $50 per month right now. And anyone who joins at that price is locked in for life. Every YouTube video has a full method attached inside Patreon. The video is for educational purposes. Only contact the network directly on Discord for help.